All right, I think we're rolling here. Looks like it. Okay, so this is kind of a cool idea that I wanted to do on Out of the Park baseball here, and just finishing up spring training. How do we do in spring training? The Colorado Springs Sky Sox, by the way, 12 and 12, which was actually last here in the West. However, obviously during spring training, everyone's kind of playing everyone, so you don't have the divisions per se. But yes, you see, we have all these teams here that are not real MLB teams. So even though we are called the MLB, as you can see at the top here, that's just the semantics of the game. Because I wanted to keep the players basically the same, the players that are minor league players. Let me start all over because you probably saw on the description. This is 1994 season folded. So we're coming into 1995. And what happened was with that folding, the MLB players in the Players Union decided to walk. Um, they worked something out with the league. The league went under. They paid them out with what they were owed, and because of that, those guys are either retired or they're in another overseas league if they want to kind of keep playing. But they're not coming into this league. This is an alternate league. Maybe eventually they will. That's a cliffhanger because I actually had to delete them all. So it was kind of it was an interesting process to be able to set this universe up here. So I deleted all of the players that were on current MLB teams. We kept all the minor leaguers. We kept all free agents that had less than one full year of major league service. And then we erased all the history because this is a new league. So this new league is going to have its own history. So if we look at like history of, again, it's called Major League Baseball, but call it whatever. If you look at all the history, there is none. So league history, next players, yeah, there is none right now. Teams, here's all the teams, their record, so we're going to create history. No accomplishments, anything like that yet. So create history with minor league players. Obviously, there were some very good minor league players in the game back then. I mean, just at any time, obviously, but now it's all relative. So you don't have guys in '95 like Bonds and Larry Walker, who won the MVP award that year, and Greg Maddux, who I think had a ridiculous like 163 or ERA potentially. It was in the ones, I believe, and I think it might have been like 160 something. Those guys are gone, but there's some very good players still. Let's check out with the preseason predictions what we got now with this league format. What I decided to do because I just think it's kind of makes a little more sense. Remember when MLB? So back in '93, MLB had the two. It was West and East of AL and West and East of NL. They had two subdivisions. Now, then they 94, the strike year, they went to three divisions, so they added a central, and it was kind of weird because like then the West only had four teams and the other divisions had five teams. Once they expanded with the Diamondbacks and Devil Rays in '98, that balanced it out a little bit. But I think even then it wasn't. I believe the Central AL Central maybe like had an extra team rather than like there was an extra team in the AL versus the NL, and then they finally evened it out later, but it took a while. So in this, we're going. There's 28 teams, and we're going seven in the AL East, seven in the AL West, and then seven in the NL East, seven in the NL West. Um, there's some that are not quite Western teams that have to be in the West because there was a little bit more East. So I think that was maybe more in the AL up here. Yeah, Indianapolis Indians. They're in the West, but otherwise, it's pretty good. We got all the Canadian teams in the AL. I don't know. It just seemed like to me, Blue Jays in '93 as a Canadian team. They're an AL team. So we got all the AL, all the Canadian teams in the AL. But otherwise, yeah, we're pretty. It's pretty sound. So here's preseason predictions. Let's see. It looks like the Vancouver Canadians and the Pawtucket Red Sox predicted to win their league, but in the East, it looks like they're saying it's going to be close with the New Orleans Zephyrs and the Rochester Red Wings. Let's check out some of the better hitters. So Matt Lawton, 23 years old, on Edmonton, projected to be one of the top hitters. Darryl Strawberry, so he's 33, but he is around because he must have been on a minor league team when the actual MLB folded and the players union. So I know it's not perfect. Like in real life, he probably would have still been in the union even if he was on a minor league team. But yeah, in this game, he's around. He's 33. So you're gonna have some guys like him. Wilton Guerrero, young rookie. I guess everyone's technically a rookie in this game, but 20 years old, high contact guy, one of the top ranked prospects in this game. It's kind of interesting how they determine prospect status. Is it like everybody? What's Strawberry? He's not a prospect. So yeah, maybe they have to be under a certain age or something because again, everyone's service time is back to zero. Everyone reset. Um, there's McCracken. He was on the Sky Sox, but we did the fantasy draft, the inaugural draft. So guys all got moved around, kind of make it more fair. What about top pitchers over in the AL? We got Glennon Rush with the Vancouver Canadians. Pretty good ratings. Well, more so ratings potential. I don't know how he will do this year. 20 years old. Doug Brockhale with Edmonton. Um, Frank Rodriguez. So let's keep going. Let's check out the NL. We got Nashville Sounds in the East, but it should be pretty close here as well with the Knights, Charlotte Knights, and the Louisville Redbirds. Almost said Louisville. You get killed for saying that in Louisville. Iowa Cubs. There's us. The Sky Sox projected to be about 6 out. Salt Lake Buzz are going to be close. Now, I wonder if some of these guys with the Sky Sox here are projected to do so well because of how I designed my park. Because we got like 3 guys in the top 10 or so projected to be some of the best hitters in the game. Yeah, look at 356 Lennon projected to be. I like this guy. He's got a high, look at this, gap power and contact. Now, keep in mind, this is average scouting accuracy because my scouts hasn't gotten to know these guys real well yet. But I love him. Like this Patrick Lennon, he's got good range. Now, this is what I decided. I wanted guys that have good gap power, high contact if possible, and good outfield range, especially. I tried to get good infield defense as well because I want a lot of ground ball pitchers because I made my outfield absolutely huge. So let's go to that in a minute. Let's check out the top pitchers. Iowa Cubs, Jason Grimsley, looking like yeah, above average kind of overall. This is a low scouting accuracy, so maybe he is better than that. Is this Sean? Yeah, Sean Bergman with the what is that? Philadelphia, Phoenix Firebirds. Paul Bird with the Toledo. Is that Toledo Mud Hens? I don't think so. They were a double A. What's TO? I'm gonna have to get familiar with all these names. Oh, it is the Toledo Mud Hens. Yep, that's the Toledo Mud Hens. Okay, so those are some of the top pitchers. There's Bartolo Colon, high stuff guy. Who's he with? SABU, Salt Lake Buzz. Yep, Bartolo Colon with the Salt Lake Buzz, high stuff. Very low scouting accuracy, so maybe it's not quite like that. But he's a top 100 guy. So that's a kind of a good rundown of our teams. Now let's check out our field. Here is what I did as the new GM of the Sky Sox. Go to ballpark. So with all these other teams, I just randomized their factors and all that kind of stuff. With mine, I designed it how I want it, which is absolutely huge. Center field is 475. You really got to earn a dinger out there. I don't see that happening. Um, so huge outfield, bunch of ground ball pitchers is what I'm trying to do, but I got outfielders that have big time range because when the ball gets hit out there, we don't want it to be a triple or a double. Which what I did is I inputted these distances and stuff at the bottom, the wall height, the metrics, and then I told the game to calculate the ballpark factors. So that's pretty cool that this is what came out. So triples are twice as likely at this ballpark, with a 475 center field, 450 to the gaps, to the power alleys, 425 down the left field line, 400 down the right field line. So it's still very far for being down the lines, but you could hit home runs if you really pull them. And then left field line, 400, 325 down the right field line with a shorter foot fence. So it's 5 feet, if you can envision this, 5 feet down the right field line, 6 feet in right field, 7 feet in right center. It's 8 foot out in center, so the wall is just kind of gradually getting higher. It's 10 feet in left center, 15 in left, and down the left field line with a 400-foot fence, it's 20 feet high. So it's going to be hard to hit home runs, as you realize. Home runs from left-handed batters, because of that short fence and right down the line, are going to be higher, but it's still like 20% of a normal park. So it's a 2.267 factor. And for right-handed batters, we're at point. So what is that? 2%. We're at 2.2% of a normal field. So home runs overall are at 10% of what normal ballparks are going to be. So I guess I didn't really factor. Well, did I on accident? What's Pickering? He's a lefty? Yeah, good. So I do have some lefty power hitters. I didn't really consider that. I was just trying to get guys, you got a lot to try to get. You're trying to get guys that have good range in the outfield and the infield, because I got ground ball pitchers, as well as guys that have high contact, because you get a ball in play. I mean, your batting averages are way up, doubles and triples are way up. So I didn't care that much about home run power. Sure, if you can hit some on the road, great, but I'm sure we're going to be lowest by far in home runs. So I didn't care about home run power. I was trying to find good defense, especially range. Look at this. The wind is in from left as well on average. 10 miles per hour in from left. So you're not hitting home runs to left or center. I mean, you got to just crush it. Lefties got a chance, but still about a 20% chance compared to normal ballparks. So I just thought that'd be an interesting experiment. That's what we're doing in Colorado Springs, trying to build our team around that. So right now we're finishing up spring training. I drafted Sean Estes. So I was also, again, ground ball pitchers. Trying to get guys, if they got good stuff, that's even better, because no balls are in play if you're striking guys out, right? So I tried to get high stuff, high movement. Control, not as, you got to sacrifice somewhere, right? So control, not as big of a deal for me. If you can get guys that have all three, obviously great. But, if you walk someone, at least it wasn't a ball in play. That could be a double or a triple, or, a hit anyway. It's going to hit anyway, even if it's a single. So fine if you walk guys. Obviously, we're not trying. But, this guy, he's kind of an outlier as far as what I was looking. He's still a ground ball pitcher, but he's higher control, not great movement. Obviously, the guys with high stuff and high movement are going to go kind of quicker. So I feel like, with all that said, I drafted a pretty decent squad as far as what we're trying to do. Now with like front office stuff, let me kind of run through the ground rules. I reset everybody at the time before the inaugural drafts to be just like average, just average and everywhere, because it was like non-existent when I imported all these teams, when I kept these teams around and I deleted all the MLB teams. All the minor league teams were like zero market size and stuff. So I reset them all, and then after the inaugural draft, then certain players are more popular than others, and so you get things kind of moving around here. What was one of the teams I saw had? Oh, here it is, New Orleans Zephyrs, very big. Now maybe it factored in that they're New Orleans too, like big market size. That'd be kind of cool if it did all that stuff. But big fan loyalty, big fan interest, because they must have some popular players. So a lot of teams with a lot of money, because right now everyone's on like a pretty low salary. So let's go back to front office. Some of these guys, I guess maybe they were grandfathered in if they were on like a kind of an MLB contract, but they're in the minors maybe. but most of the guys are on the minimum. So how I'm doing it with the financials is, let's go to that, is non-escalating arbitration. I think that's a cool idea. It's merit based. So in real life with arbitration, it always goes up. And it's like, how much is it going to go up? And they have to argue all that in court if they don't come to an agreement. This is non escalating arbitration, KBO style. They must do that in the Korean Baseball League. So it says where player contracts during arbitration can rise and fall, and often rewards seniority more than simply performance. Okay, so maybe it's not purely merit based, but it can rise and fall. So I assume that means, and I looked it up a little bit, and it says that means if they don't do well, they get paid less. So arbitration is after the second year. So you got 1 year on the minimum. Now, if you're in the top 5%, this is the Super 2. If you're in the top 5%, then it takes a year off of your arbitration. So you're just going to be 1 year. I'm sorry, it takes a year off of the minimum. Yeah, and it adds a year. You're a year quicker to arbitration. So in this game, after your second year, now you're on arbitration. You're on the minimum twice. But if you're in the top 5%, then you get your arbitration early. So you go year 2 is going to be arbitration. So teams are going to have to kind of figure out, like, are they going to keep these guys? Are they going to trade them? They might, if they have a real good year, these guys that are on arbitration are going to get paid a lot more. If they have a bad year, they should free up some money. And instead of 6 years, which is the MLB time for free agency, this is 4 years. So we're cutting a couple years off after 4 years. So it'll go like, for most players, you'll be on the minimum twice, year 1, year 2. Year 3, year 4, you'll go to arbitration. Then you'll be a free agent. We got qualifying offer, later round pick. I like that setup as far as you get a later round pick in the draft. I don't. You get one maximum career qualifying offer. I like that because it's like, hey, here's. That's a cool system, maybe the qualifying offer system. It's like, here's an amount, which is going to be what the value is. That's 4.8 this year. I guess that's pretty good. It's like a star player quality. So it's like, hey, here's a good deal. Take it or leave it. If they leave it, you're going to get compensated with a draft pick if when another team signs them. If they take it, then that's where it's at. And these things are a little flexible. Like after each year, I'll kind of review it and maybe change things. But what else we got? We got other things are normal, like you can allow contract opt-outs, 10% buyout. We got no salary cap. We got contract extensions. We got a soft cap. This is all how it was back in '95, and I don't think it's changed much, if at all. The tax above cap is 20%. The soft cap, meaning if you go to 140% of the average MLB payroll, then you get taxed 20%. There's no cash maximum, not for now at least, because I want teams to be able to collect a lot of money and then decide if they're going to keep these guys on arbitration or not. And maybe that'll bring up guys' salaries because they have a lot of money. When free agency hits, they'll bid for them. Right now, though, it says like the average profit is negative. I'm not concerned because teams have a lot of money right now. So there is revenue sharing. It's at 50%. The default in '95 was at 47 or something. So I just made it an even 50. And then we got media contracts and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the nitty gritty of all the financials. We're doing 135 games with 28 teams. That means you play 27 teams. I did interleague play and balanced schedule, so you're just playing everyone all the time. I think that's a cool idea. And what was I gonna say about that? The 135 games. That's because 27 times, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something ends up being 135 or right around that. So basically, you play each team like 6 times or something. So, for example, here's my opening day. I'm at Columbus, 3-game series, and then I'm versus Toledo, 3-game series. Then I'm at Nashville, 3. I think everything's probably a 3-game series if it comes out to be even. What else? Everything else, all-star game. I changed it down to 28 guys because that's a minor league roster in this game. The major league roster is still 25. but just like normal, you got a couple extra guys in the All-Star game just in case, for, I don't know, guys get fatigued pitching, all that kind of stuff. Playoffs, we got best of 5 in round 1 with the wild card round. So remember, I said we got a West and an East, and then how it works is you take the winner of each one, and then you got a wild card. You got 2 wild cards. So I don't think I specify. It doesn't have to be a wild. It wouldn't just be 1 and 2, 1 and 2. It would be winner of each division. So in this case, I mean, this would be Oklahoma City and Louisville. And then you got 2 wild cards. So they could both come out of the East. They could both come out of the West. Maybe one comes out of each. So you got 2 wild cards. And then it's going to be a best of 5. It's going to be best of 5 round 2 in the championship series. And then the World Series will be best of 7. So I just think that's cool. That's what I want to do. I like the wild card idea. You get 4 teams coming out of the playoffs from each side. So you can either win your division or you can be pretty good. And if one of the, again, if one of the leagues, like the East or the West, one of the divisions, sorry, if one of the divisions is better than the other, then you get 3. You get 3 teams going to the playoffs out of 7. So, that's pretty fair. I don't like in real life, it's about the money. Oh, more teams make the playoffs. I don't. That's never going to go backwards. It's always just they're gonna keep adding. So we're gonna have integrity in this league. That's how it works. Oh, some other cool things that I decided to do. I didn't lock league stats, and I'm not automatically adjusting them like with history when advancing into the next season. So it's basically it imported like 95, and it's just like kind of the floodgates are open. Like we'll see what happens. Some guys might, especially with my park being so crazy, some hitters might just hit a bunch. I don't know. It's not gonna like. So in the game, what you can do is it'll kind of like readjust. Like if you get too many home runs in 95 for what a normal 95 year was, then it'll back it down a little bit, and it'll try to be as close to history as possible. Whereas in this, again, floodgates are kind of open. We'll see what happens. I'm guessing it's not going to be anything like crazy, but yeah, that's how we're running it. What else we got? We got awards. We got MVP is the Player of the Year, pitcher is the Pitcher of the Year, reliever of the year, Rookie of the Year, best hitter is like the Silver Slugger, best fielder is the Defensive Award by position, Manager of the Year awards. We got Hall of Fame voting. It's all the same threshold and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really mess with that. I didn't want to change it. You know what? Maybe let's make it a little like 10 years on the ballot. That just seems like a lot. Minimum service year 10 years. We want to get some history going right away. So let's go 5 years. You get 5 service years, you could be in the Hall of Fame. Years on the ballot, let's also go 5 years. I mean, should we even go 1 year? Like you're either in or out. You get voted in or not. I don't know if I like that because what if you get a lot of saturated guys? I guess you vote them in, right? You vote them all in. Let's do that. 1 year on the ballot. Waiting period. Okay, prior to induction. Let's do 1 year for that. Let's go 1 year. So just why do we need to wait? Like the guy retires, I guess because he could always unretire, like in real life, but not in this game. So we're gonna go 1 year. Years on ballot. Let's go back to 5. Yeah, he needs 5 years in the MLB. We're still calling it the MLB. To get in 75%, yeah, okay, that's fine, I guess. Three-fourths. Um, yeah, or do we go 2/3 since we're a new league and we're trying to? So let's see. Years on ballot is only 5, so I guess you got a less chance to make it. So if anything, maybe you bump it up, but I'm good staying at 75. Drop players that are below 5%. How about 10%? I don't know. I don't really have any rationale on that. But like, if you don't get a 10% vote, it's 1 year, you just retired. If you didn't get below 10%, we're not going to keep you on there. Maximum votes per ballot. Okay, that's interesting. You only get 10 votes. I mean, I guess that's interesting to me because, like, what if you're saturated with some really good players in an era? Shouldn't they have as much of a chance? So I'm going to go the maximum votes here, 20. And if they were good enough to make it, then they get in there. Some career milestones. You know what? We're at only 135 games, so we have, 30 less for every year kind of adding up. I mean, I guess we can still keep these milestones, 2,000 hits, home runs, yeah, that's all fine. The single season home run, yeah, 50. I guess that'll be impressive. I don't know. I can always revisit this stuff after the season. I'm kind of just ready to get going with the season. But let me explain some more rules here. So we do have the trade deadline. You can't trade it just like in real life. Once you draft a guy, you got to give him a year. I don't know. Maybe we should change that just immediate. You can trade him right away. Why not? Let's do that. You can trade a guy right after you draft him. I don't know why. I guess they want to keep guys kind of around. I have trading on low anyway because this game tends to seem unnormal. It seems like there's kind of a lot of trades. Um, Veterans have right to veto trades. You can work that in. You know what? Maybe we should get rid of that and just say they can work it into their clause because you can do a no trade clause. Allow trading of players who are injured or more than 7 days. I think why not? Like let's let that happen. Waiver trades after deadline. No, because that's kind of weird. I don't know how that happens in this game. Okay, so that's what we got there. We're doing the draft that's in the off season. We're only doing 12 rounds because I minimized, I kind of consolidated the minor league team. So the obviously the AAA teams became the major league teams, and now everyone's got a AAA, AA, and a single A. Single A, you can only have 4 years of pro experience. Then you got to get bumped up. Double A, you can have 7 years, I believe. Let's check that. Here we go. Double A rules. 8 years. So it's four, and then it's eight, and then triple A. You can be anything. So triple A is kind of like you're almost a reserve roster. Double A, once you're getting kind of older, you either got to go into triple A or get released. So I like all that stuff. I think that's kind of cool. Um, so we're just doing 12 rounds in the draft. There's plenty of free agents. There's going to be enough guys. We're doing the lottery, so I like that idea. You can't tank. It's the same MLB. I did the default MLB lottery setup, so apparently that's 16% for the top three, and I guess the top six all have a chance. They're all starred. I guess that means they all have a chance for the number one pick, maybe. I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know what those stars mean. And then after that, I mean, these guys still have percentages. So I don't know. We'll see when it happens. Um, I'm not doing any expansion. That's something down the road. Maybe we will. I'm also thinking about, what I also have in my notes. Let's go to the notes here. Um, this is notes that I kept so that I know what's going on. What is this? Note about I didn't mean to do that one. Here it is. So this is the setup for the game. Let's call it that. Setup for this sim. And I went through all this stuff, I think, already. Um, yeah, new league, blah, blah, blah. 4 years before free agency, qualifying offer, interleague play, 135 games, wild cards. Every team has uh, all the minors. Um, yeah, it's going to randomly evolve, erased all the history, all that kind of stuff. What else was I going to go over each year? I reevaluate some of the financials. Oh, yeah, can also expand or retract if needed. Like if a team is really sucking it up and it just doesn't seem like they're pulling their weight. Maybe it's their market size is terrible or whatever, then and they're just never good, then I will retract them. We'll delete the team before free agents file, and then we'll do a free agent draft. So every team will have a shot at taking those guys on that were on the team that retracted. And then we may expand the next year, for example. We may bring a team in. So there's a lot of options. I'm kind of acting, as the commissioner. I'll be unbiased as the commissioner with these decisions. Heck, if it's me as the Sky Sox that are sucking it up, then we'll have to make that decision. I'll have to retract. So I don't know. Maybe I'll come up with some kind of like rule of, hey, I don't know, if you're at last, let's just do that now. How about retract if last in division 3 years in a row? I think that's fair. First year, hey, it happens. Second year, you were bad again, but be better next year. Third year in a row, all right, you're going to be done after that. I think that's fair. 3 strikes, you're out. This is baseball. Okay, so that's how we're working things. So what? Let one more thing here. Let's go to the rules on player. So we're not doing an expanded roster. I like it's cool as far as the history goes. Like you get all these prospects coming up and whatever, but it's not fair, obviously, because you got some teams that are like I mean, I don't know. You could argue what's fair. Everyone has a chance to bring up 40 guys, so you could say it's all fair, but it's just weird that you have like some teams that are going to have a ton of guys up if they're rebuilding, and some that are like trying to make the playoffs that maybe don't want to mess with their team chemistry. They don't want these guys just sitting around, or they don't have as many guys on their 40-man roster or whatever. So it's just kind of weird. So we're keeping the 40-man roster size at 40. I think that's good. That's fine. I don't need to change that. But then the expansion, there's no expanded roster. So you just need to have them on your 40-man roster to be protected. We're doing the Rule 5 draft in the offseason as well. And I changed this down a little bit. I kept the number of option seasons at 3. You know what? Maybe we should even do 2 because arbitration happens quicker and all that kind of stuff. Let's do it at 2. And then number of times option a season was 5. I'm doing it at 4 because we only have 130 games. Maybe we should even put that at 3. 3 strikes, you're out. Let's do 3. So you can bring a guy down 3 times. I guess after that third, if you're doing a fourth, you got to waive him. So I like this setup. We changed because of the 135 instead of 162 games. We also went with expanded instead of a 60-day. We're at a 40-day DL. So a 40-day is the longer DL. Otherwise, you're at 15. DFA, maybe let's go 7 days instead of 10. You're designated for assignment for a week, and you're on waivers for 3 days. So there we go. I like this. This is how we're doing it. AL's got the DH. NL does not. It's cool because we got interleague play. So each side, or the AL and the NL are going to have like the same amount of DHs and non-DHs that happen because some pitchers can hit. I don't know what happened in this game, but when I was doing the inaugural draft, there were like a handful or more, maybe like 10 pitchers that had like 80 contact on the 80 20 to 80 scale. In fact, I got one of them. Who is it? It was Jimmy Anderson, who is 19. I like this guy. High movement. He's neutral. He's not a ground baller, but high movement, pretty good stuff. Control, could be average as well. But look at his batting rating. Contact, it's only a 30 now, but it has a potential to be an 80. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're at my park. Does it factor that in? I don't know. Then you'd think like everyone's going to have an 80. So it couldn't be that because when I was drafting these guys, there were a bunch of them like that. So yeah, I change him to a two-way player. Some of these guys I did. I went to strategy. Use as to it's because shoot. It's because my manager is under control of that stuff. So, but I guess in the minors though, yeah, so when I send him down, because I'm not going to keep him up, then there we go. Now let's put him as a two-way player. I want him to hit. I mean, if he can develop as a hitter, great. Okay. So I wonder if that reset. There were a couple other guys that I had that could hit a little bit, that were pitchers. And I wonder if that kind of reset them when I brought them up onto the major league roster for spring training. Yeah, it's none of these guys, I don't think. Oh, maybe Kane Davis. He could be all right. Let's check him out. Set game strategy. Yeah, let's use him as a two-way player. Why not? If he can hit like that. Okay, so anyway, we need to keep skimming down our our spring training roster. So we need to get down to 25. Currently got 21 pitchers. Pulsifer, they got him as my number one. Now I got Bobby Cox and Tommy Lasorda. I gave them big time money. I had the money and I thought like these guys can really develop. I mean, we got 29 million available. What are some of the bigger salaries right now in the game? Let's check. I meant to go to transactions here. Right now I get the filter on. Let's get rid of that. I want ground ball pitchers and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get rid of the filter. Let's go to all players, MLB player list. Is the filter still on? What's going on here? It is. That one is. Let's get rid of that. So let's go to financial settings, financial info. Look at the biggest salaries. So it's like not many guys. There's 5 guys that are in the millions. Oh, this is pitchers. I was gonna say I thought Darryl Strawberry was there. Okay, so there's like I don't know, 30 maybe, 20 or 30 that are in the millions. They're on most of these guys are on a final year. Nabholz, I don't know, did they re-sign him or something? Because he's on 3.6. I guess they didn't get an extension. He was just kind of on that money. But anyway, like when you got 30 mil available, uh, most of these guys are not on a lot. So, and especially me, I didn't have my highest guy is not even in a million. So, I had the money to get some good coaches, and we did get good coaches. So I tried to get uh, good personalities to where they mesh together for my assistants, so our cohesion can be okay. But we got Lasorda, who's like legendary at teaching all these things. Let's look at him. He's my bench coach. Look at this. He's unreal, legendary at everything. So hopefully that can help my guys develop. And then Bobby Cox is my manager, who's outstanding at teaching all this stuff. His pitching coach focuses power pitchers, but he's not my pitching coach. My pitching coach, I got guy that can teach ground ballers, outstanding at development, only decent at mechanics, but he's good at teaching pitching. So, I couldn't find a guy that was like outstanding at everything. That's also a ground baller. And then my minors, I got ground baller. I tried to find the best I could as well. Sparky Anderson is my hitting coach. Look at he's ridiculous too. He's a contact guy, so that's good. That's what I want. Balls in play in my park. So that's my strategy. Scouting director, pretty solid. So obviously he needs to kind of see these guys more to get more accuracy on them. But back to yeah, let's start narrowing these guys down. Pulsifer. So what I need to remember, what we got to remember here for moving guys down. This was in spring training, so we're not playing at home. So like Pulsifer, and also a lot of these, he's a ground baller, and now I'm going to have good defense on the infield. Like I made sure to get guys that have pretty decent range. The best I could as far as like look at Batista, outstanding potential for contact and home run power. Although he's not going to hit any in my park being a righty. Um, but yeah, his gap power isn't great. I tried to find more guys with gap, but high contact and good defensively. So I'm excited about him. What did it say? He's a number 48 prospect. Yeah, I'm interested to see the top prospects too. I think that comes out at opening day, so I'll have to sim one more day to do that. But let's move guys up and down first here. So we need to go spring training, sorting by OPS. Now, what I also need to remember again is this is not spring training was not at my home park where I think contact and gap power are going to be. Look at Pickering. He's ridiculous, according to my scout. I mean, he could be like the best prospect in the game. It doesn't say he's a prospect right now. He's 18, so I'm assuming he's going to have to be. But he maybe went under the radar or something. I mean, he was my second round pick, 29th overall. I don't think it had him listed as this good. Here's the OSA ratings. So I don't know. Maybe I was sorting by gap power, and I saw he had good gap power, but I think he's improved here quite a bit. And he had good outfield range. So I'm like, this guy can play center. I know he's only a 45, maybe in center field ratings. Probably if he had a better arm, it would go higher. But I had to get him. And it's awesome that he was my best hitter. So he's going to be my starting center fielder day one. How I've started to kind of do it already here. I'm just going on best to worst OPS and putting guys on the depth chart. So Figura, I like him because he's pretty solid defensive. He's above average everywhere. He's also fast and he's got good gap power. I think stealing. That's something I'm not 100% like decided on. because normally at a big time hitter's ballpark, you'd say you don't want to steal, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. There's a good chance for an extra base hit or a home run, but there's not a good chance for a home run at my park because it's absolutely huge and the wind blows in from left. Um, but there is a good chance for like a double, but you might need a guy on second. So I'm thinking like kind of conservative for stealing. So here's my strategy. Let's go to that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to play the games out. I'm gonna quick sim them. But we're on slightly above average. Bobby Cox does let me control all the greens. The yellows he lets me slightly control, and fortunately there are no reds. That's part of why I hired him too, because I want to have some say in some of this stuff because of our park. So I'm actually gonna go like neutral here for base running and stolen bases because I don't want it to be high. I don't want it to be low per se. You might need a guy to get to second because even though we got big gaps, not all my guys are doubles hitters. We might have some guys that are higher contact, and there is a good chance for a single at our park as well. Huge outfield, you get a blooper. So if you can get a guy to second in a scoring position, you got a good chance to score him. So I think that's why I had it on slightly above average, but I'm just going to keep it at average. Um, so that's my thoughts on that. I do like if guys can have the ability to steal, of course, like Figura. He's got good gap power. We got to keep him. I'm thinking third base for him because I got Batista at second. Says Batista is a 60 potential at second. Figura is a 55 potential at third, which is the same as his potential at second. So we're going to keep him at third. Patrick Lennon, this guy I'm excited about. High contact and gap power. He would be real good at first, but I want him in the outfield. He's got good outfield range. So I got him in right now because I got Allensworth in left. Let's keep going down. We got to start sending guys down if we're going to send them down. Mendy Lopez, fast, good defensively. Not great range, but that's maybe pretty good for a first baseman. So I might want to keep him on as a backup infielder because right now I got two outfielders already as backups, and then I'll need a backup catcher. So that's either going to be Shook or Ashby. Shook, really good gap power, not great defensively. Ashby, really good eye and pretty good gap power and a good arm. So I kind of like Ashby more so they don't steal. I think I'm going to keep Ashby. He's kind of hurt. He's minimal right now. Um, he is younger. He is 20. Shook is already 25. I don't know. Yeah, look at that. Let's see. Ashby is on a minor league contract. Shook is on the minimum right now. So I'm gonna, since I'm so in between them, I'm actually gonna send Ashby down, keep Shook up. We won't do every second game. I'm kind of just if starter tired. I mean, I guess they're pretty close, huh? I think Mike is a little better. He's got a better eye. Yeah, so we'll just go if tired. Um, We got Brumley. He's 31. Are we going to keep him up? He's got good gap power, of course. That's how I've been drafting guys. Not great defensively. His range is average. Uh, Otherwise, good, though. Can turn double plays. He's fast. Let's consider him. I mean, I do need one more uh, infielder. I'd like to go five. So this would be four. I'd like to go five total guys on the bench. So it's either going to be him or maybe Cotton. Cotton, not good gap power. He's fast. He's a definite utility guy. I'm going to send Cotton down. Ground ball hitter, not as good of a hitter. We'll keep maybe Brumley up, Mendy Lopez up. Brumley is a switch hitter. I like that he can come in as a lefty, maybe hit a jack. I like Pledger because he's a lefty with some home run power that has a chance at my field. Um, so let's keep Brumley as my plan, and then all these guys didn't hit well anyway, so we'll send them down if they were bench guys. I guess Scott Bryant is he gonna be? He'll be probably my starting first baseman. That's what I got for now. He's got good gap power. He's 27. He's pretty decent, above average in all those other categories. So let's send Tracy Collette down, or Colette. Let's send this other catcher, and then Kamara Bartrey we will send down as well. So I think that should do it as far as I got 14 guys as far as my position players. So Now let's just do the depth chart real quick. So Mendy Lopez, yeah, I mean I'm gonna just start off with all these guys. Now he's yeah his potential is good, but he's not great otherwise. So he'll probably be like a number 3 pinch hitter maybe. This is against righties. I like Pledger number 1. Let's go Gibraltar 2. Then maybe Lopez or Shook or Brumley. Brumley's a switch hitter. I like Brumley higher. Let's switch Brumley and Lopez. Um, maybe even Brumley and Gibraltar. Let's switch those guys. Okay. Uh, and then Shook, I guess, I guess I wouldn't have him on there, either him or Lopez. But pinch runners now. Pledger, yeah, he's fast. Ooh, Brumley's even faster, so let's go Brumley first. What's Gibraltar? Not great. Mendy Lopez, ooh, real fast, especially as my last pinch hitter. He'll be the first pinch runner. So there we go. I like that. We're gonna go, yeah, Batista Figura. Brito, he was not great. He ended up doing a lot better. He ended up 765 OPS. So that's good to see because he started off not great, but his infield range is pretty solid. So that's important. Um, I guess Brumley will have to be my backup shortstop because I'm going to send Radcliffe down. Yeah, let's go ahead and send these guys. Oh, Radcliffe I kept up, and I said I got 14, so I got an extra guy. Radcliffe's got to go down. I like what he's about. Good range, pretty fast. Well, I guess average range, a little above average, but good gap power potential. So that should be everyone. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bench players. Perfect. Okay, so Brumley, he's my infielder uh, backup. He's the only one. Fortunately, he can kind of play anywhere because then we got 2 outfielder. Well, we got Mendy Lopez, first base backup. I guess he can play some other spots, but not very well. So he's just more first base backup and pinch runner. Uh, so that looks good for now. Now the outfield, I already did that. Yeah, Pledger and Gibraltar. So now the order. What are we going to do for our batting order? I mean, you got to have Pickering cleanup, don't you? Um, I like the sabermetric style of what they say the optimized lineup is first hitter and fourth hitters are your best guys. Your fourth is maybe higher of a slugger. Your first is more on base. Then your second is your third best hitter. Your fifth spot is your fourth best hitter. Then your third spot is your fifth best hitter. So it goes 1, 4, 2, 5, 3 in the batting order, then 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, there's different theories on why. It sounds like because your third hitter, quite often, obviously to start the game off, you go 1 out, 2 outs, nobody on. So you want your best hitter up with 2 outs and nobody on. So generally, it's a higher slugger guy. Maybe he can hit a home run or a double or something. And now it wasn't just a single with 2 outs. And so you still can maybe get some production with your cleanup hitter coming up next. So that's the general theory. I think that's one of the things. But either way, when they've run all the simulations, that is the optimized lineup. Doesn't mean all the teams are doing that, of course. But I kind of like that. I like Lennon leading off. He's a high contact guy, good gap power. Maybe not an outstanding eye. And then yeah, maybe Batista too. He's got good home run power though, but he's a righty. It's not going to hit him at my park. Here's Bryant, high uh, gap power, and maybe not my. He's probably my fifth best hitter, maybe, or maybe I should go Maxudian hitting third. Kind of a higher eye, good gap power. I kind of like him as a 2 hitter even. And then maybe Batista because he hasn't reached his potential. He's still not great. So let's go Batista 3, Maxudian 2, and then Bryant 5. 6th, yeah, I guess Brito. Maybe what Figura. Figura's not great. I guess this is good with me. Allensworth got decent gap power. He's got maybe a little higher. Yeah, I'm good with that. That works. And we're going to copy that over now for versus DH. Who would we go as our DH? Because that will be happening. I don't know if it's right away. I don't remember Columbus if they're American or National League, but I guess we'll go Pledger. He's a lefty as well. That helps, and he's my top hitter. So let's go Pledger. Uh, he's kind of more of a home run guy. Maybe he'll get on base. So maybe seventh. I don't know. Should you go sixth? I kind of like Brito a little better. Seventh. Then Allensworth Figura. Brumley can be the backup DH, I suppose. Although I kind of like him as a utility option. So maybe is he better defensively than like some of my other guys? I mean, second base is a 45. Batista's a 50. I think I have my best defensive lineup out there. So I'd keep him at I keep him where he's at. I guess he's a 50 with a 60 potential or a 45 65 in the outfield. He's a 55 60. I think Lennon's about the same. Yeah, 50 60. So that's fine. We'll keep that as is. And now let's figure out versus lefties. Do we want anything different? I suppose maybe the pinch hitters different. Like we go, but again, if we're at home, I like a lefty coming up. So I don't know. We'll just switch these two, and then Gibraltar, and then Lopez. So we'll just switch those two for a lefty. Let's copy that over. Oh, it'll be easier. We're just gonna copy the right-handed one, and then we'll make the one little switch here. We'll switch these guys over now. Pledger and Brumley. There we go. I think we're almost set. We just need pitching now. We need 9 pitchers down, and that will pretty much fill up the AAA as well. So yeah, again, this one's tough because my park is a lot different. You're not going to give up home runs, but you're going to give up a lot of doubles and triples, and so that's where I like high movement because that helps avoid extra base hits. Obviously, I like high stuff as well, and I like ground ball pitchers because that's going to be more of a single then. So I do want to keep Pulsifer. When I asked my coaches for their recommendations, they had him as the number 1, and he's got good ratings, and he's a ground baller. So obviously, I love Estes. We got to keep him. I mean, I want him as my number 1. In fact, Pulsifer, he had a terrible spring. We only did 4 weeks of spring training. Maybe it was even 3 to 4 weeks instead of the normal 5. So these guys didn't get as many innings as you would normally see. I got 3 lefties right away. I didn't even think of this, but I like that because maybe it combats other teams trying to have lefties in the lineup at home against us, where you have more of a. I don't even know if it's worth trying to get lefties to hit home runs because it's still incredibly low. Let's go back to ballpark. It's still a 20% chance versus normal. So I mean, yeah, you have a more chance than a righty, but it's still not a good chance. So not a huge deal. That's I don't think that's a big concern. We're gonna go Estes, I guess Pulsifer because his ratings are better. Although yeah, Kroon did pretty well. He's got not great control, but I'm okay with that. He's an extreme ground baller. Yeah, I kind of like him as a 3 or a 4. Powell, high movement potential, but he's not there yet. So he had a .75 ERA though. Maybe we keep him on. Chuck Bauer, not a ground baller, kind of neutral. Doesn't look that impressive. Did have also had a good spring training though. So we'll take him out of the rotation, and then we're gonna go with a 5-man. We're gonna go on occasion start highest rested if we can. So now, yeah, we got a lot of bullpen guys to figure out. Barton, I like him. He's 31. He's a seasoned veteran. He's got high movement. Storm Davis, also older with high movement. Danny Graves, good high movement guy. I think all these guys are ground ballers. Yeah, Graves is an extreme ground baller. Barton's neutral. So yeah, Graves. You know what? I'm gonna go Graves high leverage. Barton, maybe specialist and closer. Um, so now I got all these other guys. Let's glance at the guys that didn't do well first. Gabe Gonzalez had a 6 ERA. We'll send him down. down to AAA. Some of these no-brainers. Scott Rose had a 586. He's got real good movement. He's not a ground baller, and he's got low stuff. Because we're on the fence with him, I'm going to send him down. I mean, I do like that movement. Let's hang tight on him. Let's hang tight on him. Mike Dunright had a 422. He's high stuff. Not good, not great movement. Maybe high, decent, about average potential, a little below potential. Control right around average. I guess that's a guy I will keep as well, just to see. Although those guys, I think those guys that I'm on the fence about, I'm just gonna have to send down. So maybe Rose and Drumright we send down. Bauer, that's a guy I was maybe gonna keep. He'd be a long relief guy. So what about this Clint guy? Good K per 9 in spring training. He's a ground baller with good movement. I want to keep him. He's could be a starter, it says. So let's keep him as a long relief guy. Who was that? Who did I just say? Because I changed him to a long reliever. Wasn't Sadowski, was it? He's a ground ball pitcher. 397. Yeah, it might have been him. So let's I think I'm gonna have to this guy Bernie, he's gonna have to go down. He's very average. He had a good spring, but ratings not great and neutral as far as being a ground baller. Rowe, yeah, okay, I looked at him already. I like this guy. He had a good spring training. He's got high movement. He's not a ground baller, but high movement. We're gonna keep him for sure. So he'll be a middle relief. Holman, he's 30 years old. He's got great movement. I'd like to keep him. He had a 2.25 ERA. Let's keep him. Holman, Schmidt. I think I'm gonna have to send those guys down that I was on the fence about. Hudson had a 1.59 ERA. He's got great movement and he's a ground baller. I think we got to keep him. Let's keep Hudson. Let's send down some of these guys I was on the fence with. Rose, we're gonna send him down. I like his movement, but he's got low stuff and he didn't have a great ERA. Was it Drumright? We're gonna send down. Yeah, high stuff. I like him. I like these guys. We might have to. I'm sure it's all work in progress. I'm sure we're gonna be making decisions soon once the season starts. Okay, so we still need to send quite a few guys down. Carl Schultz, he is a lefty. He had a 3.60 ERA. He's on a minor league contract. Let's send him down. He's a ground baller. I do like him, but we got a couple other lefties, and Barton can be a specialist. So can Dunbar. He can be a specialist. So I got two guys that can come in as lefty specialists. Patterson, are we going to stick with him? He had a 4.50 ERA. Extreme ground baller. I like that. He's got good movement. We got to keep him. Let's keep Patterson. I know he didn't have a great ERA. Valdez had a 5.40. I think we looked at him already. He is an extreme ground baller. He's on a minor league contract. Let's send him down. We got plenty of other good ground ballers here. So where are we at? I think we got to send a couple more guys down still. Man, tough decision, but that's good. It's a good decision. Good to have these tough decisions. All these guys are kind of the same. They're high movement guys. He's a ground baller. He's neutral, Holman, but he's 80. And he's neutral, but he's 75. Schmidt. Are they all? Hudson's got a major league contract. Schmidt's on a minor league. I mean, I got the money to spend anyway, but Holman is on a minor league contract. I just don't know where to. They're all like the same here. I'm just gonna have to choose one and go with it. Let's see. Maybe Hudson. He's got the lower stuff, but he's a ground baller. Maybe Schmidt because he's neutral. So is he though, but Holman's got higher stuff. Now this is an average scout. Sorry, higher movement I meant. This is an average scout too. I think I'm going to send Schmidt down. He's still good morale, so that's good. His morale just went to good instead of mad. How many more guys we got to drop down? Two more guys. Two more guys to get to 25. I don't know. Let's look at just the ratings here. Maybe Patterson, I suppose, because his movement's just not as high. He's an extreme ground baller with with good movement. I like to keep him, although he didn't have a good ERA. Sadowski didn't. He had one of the higher ERAs. He's a ground baller with good movement. He's on a minor league contract. He's 22. Let's send him down. Um, do we keep Bauer? I mean, his ratings are not as. He just had a very good. He had 15 innings and 176 ERA. So I kind of like to keep him up. So maybe we go Patterson. He is on the minimum. He's extreme ground ball. He's neutral. Let's send Bauer down. Again, I know he did everything he could do. Good job, buddy. You did everything you could do. You didn't make the squad. Now we're at 25. I like where we're at. I guess we do need some guys maybe for long relief. Um, these guys are all not good stamina, but whatever. We'll let them kind of figure that out. I got an outstanding bench coach and manager in Bobby Cox and Tommy Lasorda. So we'll let them kind of figure that out. So now we just need to make sure all these guys are on the 40-man roster because some guys are not. Boom, there we go. 30 out of 40. We still got 10 openings if needed. Yeah, Manny is hurt. This guy, I like him. We'll see when he comes back will be the deal with him. But I think we're all set. I think we're all set. I got a good minor league system. I'm excited to see what happens here. They're generating. I'm excited to see the top 100 prospects now. Pickering's got to be like way up there, doesn't he? I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see where what happens, and I think it's generating new preseason predictions now as well, based on uh, the new the end of spring training here and the rosters. Okay, there's my owner talking to me. Here's the top 100 prospects. Todd Helton on the Las Vegas Stars. No surprise there. Yeah, ridiculous everywhere. He kind of looks like Pickering, though. Nomar Garcia Parra with the Norfolk Tides. Carlos Guillen, Scott Rowland, Abreu, Tejada. Okay, I don't see any of my guys here. Let's look at the top minor league systems. Indianapolis Indians are number one, with Kevin Millwood as their top pitcher and Ryan Dempster. Yeah, wow. The Dempster and Millwood, weren't those guys both in the same? They were both around. They were both good young pitchers at the time. Millwood was Braves. Dempster, I think, was Marlins. I thought they were like maybe in the same, came up in the same organization, but Millwood came up with the Braves. Yeah. So that's the Indianapolis Indians with the uh, top minor league system. Tacoma Rangers, Kelvin Escobar is their top guy. Um, I don't see us up here. Where are we? There we are, 26th. Man, Batista. So Pickering's not on here for whatever reason. He just might not be a prospect, I guess. I don't know how it works. I don't know. But Batista is our top guy. Yeah, I like him. He's 35th. Estes is a top 100 guy. And then Brito, it kind of surprised me. He snuck in there as the 100th guy as a shortstop. Well, what about let's look at the preseason projections. So I don't know if this did change much, did it? I don't remember Mike Blowers being here. Maybe he was. I remember like Warren Newsom. Yeah, Rodriguez, I think, moved up. Frank Rodriguez, Glennon Rush. Um, let's see, where are we at? Yeah, we moved down a little here, 65 and 70. And we still, no, oh, there's Lennon. We just have Lennon up there. So, man, Pickering's just like a sleeper, I guess. I don't know. Is my scout way off on him? I mean, look at his. Maybe it's just his potential. Like his right now, he's not outstanding. He's still good. Gap power, home run power. Again, he's not gonna hit a lot of home runs at my park. Maybe he'll yank a few down the line. But good, good contact potential. All right, I think it's time to start simming. I'm excited to see where our guys are. Look at Lennon. I'm excited to see how this goes and what happens. So we got the new league here coming up, starting. All these guys that want a shot, and they're getting their shot. We don't have a third baseman right now. Figura is listed as a second baseman. Not that this matters, but I like to see their rankings. So it's saying Pickering is the 14th best center fielder. It's saying all these guys are like the last. my infield is dead last, but I got him because they have good range. Although his range, Brumley, is not great. Um, it's got Brumley there. Batista is who I got at second. His range is slightly above average. So, we'll see how this goes. It says Brumley's better than Batista right now. Batista's not even on the charts, but again, his potential is ridiculous. I guess, without his potential, he's not great. Home run power is decent, or is good. Everything else is kind of below average. He might strike out a bit, but let's see how it goes. I do have him hitting third. If we need to move things around, we will. So we got Sean Estes going first. Let's see what my scout says. Who are the Columbus? What are they called? Let's see. Columbus Clippers. Who do they have? They got Raul Ibanez at catcher. Yeah, he looks good. He's the number 25 prospect. They got John Mabry, T.J. Matthews, one of their top 5 guys, and Edgar Renteria, number 48 prospect. I like him defensively, and he can hit. He's a guy that I will keep my eyes on. All right, let's start simming here. I like to go game by game, see what happens. A 5-9 loss. We're at Columbus, so we're not at home. So Estes got rocked. Decent amount of hits. We had 8 hits. Estes gave up 6 runs in 3 innings, and then Dunbar gave up 3 in 3 innings. Hudson came in and did all right. Pickering got caught stealing. Let's finish this series. Oof, got crushed again. 13-2. How's Batista? He's doing great. 2 for 4 that game. How's Pickering? Hitting 250. Allensworth with the jack. And Pulsifer got rocked right away. Man, we're getting hit around. I wonder, is Columbus like a hitter's park or something? From when I remember randomizing them all, I didn't see a whole lot of hitters ballparks. At least not as far as home runs went. Patterson didn't even get an out and gave up 5 runs. Rough. That's rough. I'm excited to play at home. Can we steal game 3 of the series? We do. 6-3 in 11 innings. Batista 2 for 4, another multi-hit game. We got some home runs here. Allensworth, Bryant, Brito, Batista, and Lennon. Lennon kind of struggling this series. A couple guys caught stealing. We're stealing a decent amount. Brito caught twice. Kroon came in, he made it 5 innings. I guess, is that a quality start? I think you have to have, I don't remember, but that's one of the qualifications. I'll call it a quality start for us. And then the bullpen held pat, coming back to Patterson, bouncing back to him. Storm Davis getting the win. Graves getting the save. I like Graves. Okay, here we go. Now we're at home against the Toledo Mud Hens. What do we have to say about the Mud Hens? John Jackson is their best guy. I haven't heard of him. Is he a real life? He did not make the majors in real life. He was a career minor leaguer with the Giants. Yeah, it looks like he might have been in the Giants organization, then the Angels. So he's their top guy. Looks like, yeah, I'm hopefully not worried about. They don't look very good. I don't know, what's their record? 2-1. They won their series. They got some guys that are okay. Jackson, the guy I'm not worried about, 5th best left fielder apparently. But all that changes pretty quickly. All right, let's sim this out here. Then we might look at making some changes. 6-4 win. All right. At home, 10 runs total being scored. I wonder if that's going to be below average. Lennon with a couple hits. Yeah, I can see some of these guys flourishing here now at home. Did anyone hit a home run? That's what I want to know. Batista 0 for 4. Pickering 2 for 4. These are home runs like overall, so that I think all goes back to last series. Did Pickering hit one though? Home runs, Pickering with a jack. They did not have any. So Pickering, I'm sure, yanked it down the line. Had to have yanked it down the line. Too bad it doesn't give you the, maybe it does in like game notes to tell you how far it went. No, special notes. I like to glance at those now and then. Wind blowing in from left at 10 miles an hour. Starting pitching, did great. That's a quality start. Hudson blew the save, gave up a couple runs. He's that high movement guy. He struck a guy out, then Barton got the save. All right, let's play versus Toledo again at home. Oh, a 7-3 loss. Looks like we were winning till the fifth. Batista staying hot. Another 2-hit game. Powell, my pitcher, with 2 hits. Is he a guy that can hit? Not really, but not bad. Any home runs? Not from us. Not from them. Brito stole. Batista got caught stealing. Powell, only 2 earned runs, 2 that were not earned. So Shook behind the plate made an error. Figura made an error. And then, Penn didn't do great. Gave up some runs after that. No special notes. Here we go, game 3 against Toledo. Can we get to 500? We're 2-3. We do a 12-5 win. That's how we draw it up, baby. It's big wins at home. We got 8 runs in the 8th. We were actually losing. They were like the graph shows. Toledo was on pace to win that one. Looks like we did Pickering hit another home run? I think Allensworth 3 for 4. Where are we at? Triples, home runs. Pickering, second home run. None for them. Not a surprise. I don't think we've given up we haven't given up a home run at home. Sean Estes caught stealing. Okay, that's interesting. He's got good potential to develop good contact. I don't know if he's fast. What are we doing there? I'd be shocked, but maybe he is. He actually is. He's good at base running and stealing. Incredible. Okay. Well, good job, Bobby Cox. I shouldn't be questioning you. Gave up a lot of runs, though. And bullpen did great. Barton got the win. Hudson. Now we're playing at Nashville. So what does our scout have to say about Nashville? We're at Nashville. They got a good catcher, Matt Murillo. They got Ed Giovanola. I think I remember him from real life. Kevin Millar. Okay, they're 4-2. So here we go. We're 3-3. Let's sim these out. 7-6 win. All right. I might on the road games. I might just run through these things a little quicker. Let's just sim them out quicker here. 6-8. They got it. And at Nashville, 9-3, we get it. Now we're versus Omaha at home. I guess I didn't check them out, but 8-1 loss. Shoot. Yeah, we didn't hit very well here. I like our averages though. Looking pretty good. Powell got rocked again. He's 0-2. Maybe I think about bringing him down soon. And a 10-5 loss. I didn't check if they hit any home runs. Triples, not a surprise there. A couple triples and doubles. No home runs though. Pledger hit a home run. He's a lefty for us, but still not enough. Sean Estes, I thought, didn't he just go? Oh yeah, there we go. That was correct. Yeah. So he's 0-2. Gave up 12 hits. Man, I guess that movement isn't good enough. The stuff not good enough. Not getting enough ground balls. Maybe Penn did pretty well, except for Hudson, who came in relief right away. Here's game 3. Can we scavenge a win? We do. 4-1. Probably kind of a rare lower scoring game there. Pickering hitting third, so they switched things around, probably giving some guys time off. Was Batista, did they get him? Yeah, they got him out of the lineup. Allensworth with a steal. Triple, of course, happened. They didn't have a triple, just a double. No home runs for either team. Pulsifer getting the win. Yeah, pitched great. 1 earned run. Couple Ks. And then Penn did great. So now we got a day off. Dunbar day-to-day injury. Yeah, what do we got here? Power rankings have come out. Tacoma Rainiers are number one. Ottawa Lynx, Buffalo Bisons. Where are we at? Um, where are we? Why am I missing it? I'm not seeing it. Oh, is this oh, there we are. We're eighth. We're eighth. Okay. Starting pitching leaders in WAR. Yeah, it's still very early, obviously. Player of the Week's Jay Payton of the Toros, Tucson Toros, and Scott Spezio of the Columbus Clippers. Okay, now we're playing at home versus Louisville. Let's take a glance here. Do we want to make any changes after 12 games? Um, Here's some of our. Mike Brumley is hot. Gibraltar. Wes Shook doing real well. Yeah, what's his name? Maxudian. Not doing great. Let's switch him out. In fact, let's. I'm good with doing this. I mean, we haven't. Well, I'll wait. What I was gonna do was let Bobby Cox decide them all, but I think I want to retain control a little more right here. Let's resort them. So, Batista, I like maybe hitting two. Wes Shook can be hitting three. Do I want to get Gibraltar into the lineup? Who's not doing well? Brito, Figura, Lennon, not doing terrible, but yeah, I got to keep him in with his. Oh, so we've got a very high scout on him now, and those have gone down a little bit, but it's still really good. I like him a lot. We're gonna keep leading him off. What's Batista? Yeah, he's still good up home runs and contact. What about Pickering? That's what I'm curious. Average scout. We don't have a high scout on him yet. Gonna keep him clean up, I think. So yeah, I mean, we'll keep Lennon leading off. Batista hitting two. Maybe Allensworth three. Move him up instead of Shook. I mean, Shook is hitting really well, but he's just kind of more a gap power guy. So let's go Allensworth, Pickering, then Shook, Bryant, Shook, Bryant, Figura, Brito. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I mean, Brumley, maybe we could get in there. It's a low accuracy, so maybe he's better than what it shows here. Um, how is his defense? He's 50 range, so now that's a low scout. So maybe Figura, maybe he's better than Figura. Let's toss him in there. Why not? Let's toss him in there. Brumley and for Figura, is he better at third? He's not great at third. He's maybe a little better at second. But we got Batista at second, so we'll keep it like that. That's what we're gonna do. Um, and then pinch hitters is gonna go Pledger, Gibraltar, who he could be in too. But my outfield is all doing pretty well. Pickering, Allensworth, and then I want to keep Lennon in. So it'll be Pledger, Gibraltar, I guess Figura, and then Maxudian. Figura, Maxudian. And they can figure out the pinch runners. Was Lopez number one? That's good. All right, so let's copy the lineup and the depth chart. We'll copy it across the board. As DH though, we got Pledger in there, so I don't think I'll change that. I might move him up though in the order. Let's copy the lineup only. I mean, paste the lineup here. So Pledger now is at DH, and we can move him up. Oh, did I not put a backup? What happened here? Why did my backup? Oh, I didn't paste the depth chart, I guess, because I don't want to change the DH. So it'll be Figura now as the backup. And then pinch hitter is going to be Pledger, Gibraltar, Figura, Maxudian. Pledger, Gibraltar, Figura, Maxudian. There we go. Yeah, I want to keep moving Pledger up in the order now. Where did I have him hitting? Oh, yeah, that's right. He wasn't because I couldn't get him in with my outfield. So I mean, he's only had 4 at bats. Okay. Gibraltar was in. Gibraltar was my guy that I wanted in. Yeah. Okay. Pleasure's only had 4 at bats, so I guess I want to switch these guys. Gibraltar, Pleasure, Gibraltar, Pleasure, and then we're gonna go Gibraltar in as the DH. I mean, Pleasure isn't doing anything wrong. He's still had 4 bats, 2 hits, but Gibraltar just 15. He's a little more proven. So let's move him up probably to 6th or even 5th. I guess Shook is. Dude, they're both real similar. We'll do that. That's how I like it. Let's go ahead and copy this now. That'll be against lefties. Boom, there we are. We're set. And pitching's been very rough. I wonder where we rank here and everything. Runs scored were 3rd. OPS were 2nd. Runs against were 14th. That's in the NL. So that's last. Starters ERA were last. Bullpen ERA, we are 8th. Not terrible. But starters ERA, we are terrible. Okay, we're versus Louisville. We're at home. Here we go. We got Kroon going. He's got a 10 ERA, and we win 14-6. Batista had an 8-game RBI streak. Ooh, and now he's hurt. So is Lennon. Lennon got hurt too, huh? Batista's out for 3 weeks with a fractured foot. Shoot, that hurts. So we'll go on the 15-day. Let's look at this win. 14 runs. We out hit them 15-12. They still had a lot of hits. Batista got hurt right away, it looks like. Do we have any home runs? A lot of triples. A couple of those. A lot of doubles. No home runs. Same with for them. A lot of hits, a lot of extra base hits. No surprise there. Kroon pitched great. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. And then the pen did not pitch great, but we still had enough of a buffer due to our offense. Okay, so 2 guys hurt. I don't know Lennon, how serious he is, but we can bring a guy up now. So let's go to AAA. The Amarillo Greyhounds. They've played 9 games. Let's see who's hitting well down here. Ruben Rivera, I can't believe he's not a high up prospect because he looks like he's going to be a stud. But what do I need? I need an infielder pretty much because now with Batista out, I think Figura now was my only infielder. I could go Lopez, but I don't like his range. I got ground ball pitchers. Maybe I got to have some better infielders. What's Brumley? He's not a great infield range either. Do I have some guys here that are hitting well and or have good range? Cotton, good range. I mean, above average. He's not a starter down there. He's only had 3 at bats. What about Cliff? Not good range. He's a 3rd baseman. After that, I mean, he's not hitting well, Vasquez, but he's a good fielder. So I just kind of feel like that's part of it, but I'm just going to have to roll with what we got. Who do I want to bring up? Let's see who my scouting director recommends is down here who's ready to come up as far as offensive players. Nobody, but who's not at least recommended to go down. I guess Brumbaugh, Cliff. He's the only infielder that I guess my scout thinks deserves to be in AAA. So let's bring him up. I mean, he's I guess like a backup corner, and then Lopez can be my backup. Second base and whatnot, short and second. He can play all those, just not well at all. But we'll make do till Batista comes back. So Brumley is going, or I guess Figura can go to second. How do I want to do this? Brumley looks a little bit better at second right now, but his range is not good. So what about Figura? He's got better range. I think I like him better at second. We're going to go Figura at second. Keep Brumley at third. And then Brumbaugh will be the backup 3rd baseman. Brumley can go to second if that happens. So we'll stay with Gibraltar, Pledger, Maxudian and Lopez, maybe. Maxudian instead of Figueroa since he's starting. And then I guess Lopez or maybe Brumbox. He can kind of hit a little. Yeah, he's got good gap power. Let's put him in there. Can he run? Yeah, he's all right. Still, we're going to go Lopez as our top pinch runner. And then we'll go Brumbaugh and then Pledger. Okay. Now for the order, for the batting order, we'll keep Figueroa last. Brito second to last, hitting 7th. We'll go Shook then. I guess Bryant 5th. He's doing real well. 960 OPS. Pickering 4th. I guess, yeah, Allensworth keep him at 3rd. Brumley, 23 at bats, hitting 471. And then Lennon, I know he's, he's hurt now. Yeah. I know he's not way up there. He's only hitting 255, but you got to trust these ratings. It's a very high scout. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Let's copy it over to DH and to lefties. And then versus with the DH, who do I want? I guess Gibraltar. Yep, that's what we've done. And we'll move him up. I mean, Shook's doing well, so I'm going to hit him 7th. That's how we're going to do it. Let's copy this. Boom, put it there. Okay. Now I think what I'd like to do is we're just going to sim these series a little quicker. We're just going to kind of go day by day. There's a 7-6 win. Let's look at our pitching staff here. We got Powell going now. 8.22 ERA. He's 0-2. Can he get a win? Consecutive hit streaks by Lennon ended. Ooh, we lost 9-10 in 10 innings. So far, Barton doing great in the pen. He's the only guy. Adamson pitching well in the rotation, which is interesting because he's a high control guy. He's a ground ball pitcher. But we're 8-7 now. I wonder how my AAA pitchers are looking. We got some guys doing real well. There's Drumright. He's got a 4.02 ERA plus, 1.54 ERA in 11 innings. This must be a big time hitting league or something, because to have a 4.02 ERA plus. All right, we're gonna keep simming for now. I'm not ready to quite make changes yet with these guys, with my pitching staff. Estes though, man, maybe I'd take him out of the #1 spot. There he pitched well. We're on the road, but we only lost 2-4. Here's Pulsifer, the 5.87 ERA, a 7-9 win. So a lot of offense for us at Charlotte. And now we got Kroon going, 7.31. Can he lower that? He does, and we win 8-1. Now we're back at home versus Iowa. I mean, Storm Davis, the K per 9 is at least high. He's got a 9 ERA. Hudson, 7.8 K per 9, not bad, but at 8 ERA. Dunbar's got a 6.9 K per 9 and almost a 7 ERA. Yeah, I mean, I still want to ride these guys out a little bit. Let's see how it goes at home now. Here we go. We got Adamson going. He's been my best starter. And 14-5 win. Jay Powell now up. We're just putting up so many runs. Here's Jay Powell, got a 5.84 ERA. Now it's at a 6.23. We do lose. Jermaine Allensworth, player of the week. We lose 8-2. So now we are at Oklahoma City. Oh, we got one more versus Iowa Cubs at home. We're 11-9. Now we're 11-10. A 2-4 loss. Pretty good pitching duel there for being at home. Look at my guys' OPSs still. What is our OPS plus, which is adjusted? Park adjusted. Still very good. Here's Patrick Lennon at an 818 OPS, which is below average for the OPS plus adjusted. All right, we got Pulsar up. Let's get through this series, see if we can stay over 500. 1-0 win on the road at Oklahoma City. Gibraltar out for 2 weeks with a sprained ankle. Shoot, he had been doing solid. That'll be a 15-day DL. Batista still has a couple weeks as well. Okay, so Gibraltar. I don't necessarily need an outfielder. I got a good outfield. What a win, 1-0. Excited about that one still. All right, I think that'll be it for this sim. You got the gist of it. The next one I will jump in toward the end of the season, kind of show you how things are wrapping up. But you got a good gist of it. That's a start. It's been a little while. I'll make the decision here. I'm going to keep moving guys around. Be on the lookout for the next video.